Our 2022 budget numbers are in, and I'm going to break down exactly how much it costs to live and travel full-time in an RV, so let's get into it. The way I'm going to break this down is in three categories. The first being RV life expenses, which are things that differ because we do live and travel full-time in an RV. The next is going to be just regular bills and spending, and then wrapping it up with some big purchases that we made this past year. Honestly, you're looking at a lot of where our money goes right here. We have a $768 truck payment. Fortunately, we do not have a payment on the RV, so that's $0. We do have insurance on both a full-timers policy on the RV with Progressive, and then auto insurance on the truck with Progressive, and that costs us $174 a month. In 2022, we drove a lot, and I'm talking a lot of miles, because our fuel costs averaged monthly $1,069. Honestly, I couldn't believe it when I crunched the numbers. This includes diesel for the truck, gas for the generator, as well as DEF for the truck. That all got thrown into the fuel category. Most of it being diesel, obviously. So we drove through California during the height of inflated fuel prices, and it was just lovely paying $8 a gallon for diesel. I won't do that again. We drove a lot and went a lot of really cool places, including a lot of places where we were boondocking and getting to stay for $0, like this place right here. So our monthly campground cost averaged $352 a month. Now some months were $0, other months were about $900, like in May when we drove through California. They got us on the campgrounds and the fuel. When we boondock, we do spend more on some things, like propane, because we're running our furnace and our fridge and our gas stove and everything off of it. So on propane, we averaged $54 a month, which isn't too bad if you ask me. Less than I was paying for my electric bill when we owned a house. And what about internet? With us staying in all of these really remote locations, we've changed providers a couple of times throughout the year, but ultimately it has averaged for internet $190 a month. Right now we have Starlink and we have a Pepwave that we have a Verizon SIM card in. And then there's laundry and dumping fees. Laundry, we averaged $21 a month. That's at laundromats. We don't have a washer dryer on our rig. And then for dumping, we averaged about $6 a month. We were going to Pilots or Flying J's and paying that $10 fee to dump our tanks and fill our water. But not all the time, because sometimes we found free spots to do that. When it comes to activities, we did a lot of free activities like hiking and paddleboarding, because we already had our paddle boards. We did do some paid things like museums, and that averaged about $31 a month. However, you know, like I said, we like free outdoor activities. You know what a free outdoor activity is? Rock climbing. You know what's not free? The initial gear to rock climb. So we bought rock climbing gear for a one-time cost of $636, bringing our overall monthly average, including that, to $84 a month. We also had quite a few maintenance and repair costs throughout the year. So we had to repair one of our slides and get the entire slide system replaced. That set us back about $2,500. Put new tires on the truck for about $1,800. We had to replace 2 batteries in the truck as well, even though it's only a 2020. That was $385. We had to do things like oil changes and fuel filters and random RV parts throughout the year, and all of those by themselves averaged to $143 a month. So when you put it all together, we had about $6,400 worth of repairs and maintenance that we did in 2022, which averages to about $533 per month. And we have a storage facility that's $84 a month back in Tallahassee, Florida. So when you add all of that together, just our RV life expenses totaled $3,335 monthly on average. Like I said, some months it was less than that, others it was a lot more, like that month where we had to repair the slide for $2,500. Okay, so now let's get into our regular spending and bills that everyone has, no matter what kind of house you live in. These are our fixed bills here. I'm gonna just run through these real quick. Our phone's $200 monthly. Software subscriptions, like Netflix or Amazon Prime or some other things that clearly I'm forgetting, $74 monthly. Meds, $15 monthly. health and life insurance, $290 monthly, and tithes, which I'm gonna leave undisclosed for the amount, but it's a really important part of our budget, so I wanted to include it, bringing our total on monthly fixed bills minus tithes to $579. All right, we're getting a little more comfy. Okay, come on, Leland. You've been wanting to get up here this whole time. Oh, now we've got two of you. Do you want to get up here too, Maverick? Come on. Come on. Okay. Oh my gosh. Why are you? I think we're situated now. This next category is our regular bills, but the more fluid expenses, and that we have a lot more control over. One of our biggest being food. So we spend an average of $782 monthly on food, with $388 of that being groceries and $394 of that being on eating out on average month to month. Why are you so weird? Then we have in a category called I Want It, which is for random stuff like a new pair of sunglasses or a new pair of shoes, and we spend an average of $90 a month on that. Pet food and supplies for these guys average $63 monthly plus a $775 yearly clinic visit with meds for throughout the year, which brings an overall monthly average for pet care to $130. Plus I forgot household and personal care, which are things like paper towels and haircuts and new vacuums, which average to $128 a month. Overall, we spent an average of $1,130 on fluid expenses each month, bringing our regular life spending on a month-to-month basis average to $1,709. So, that means our monthly average to live and travel full-time in our RV came to $5,044. However, this doesn't include those big one-time purchases that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, and I'll run through those real quick. We put in a pretty big solar system this year, building up to it throughout the year, buying all the different parts, and that totaled $7,250 for the things we had to buy this year. We also bought Starlink. That was $690. We also bought a portable gym, the Max Pro, and that was $850. We also replaced the truck bed cover because the first bed cover we put on it broke. That was $1,370, bringing our total on one-time expenses to $10,160. So if you have big purchases that you're gonna wanna make like us, you'll wanna account for that in your budget as well. So I'm curious, does that sound like a lot to you? Or not as much as you thought? Honestly, it was a little bit more than I thought it was gonna be. But there are ways that you could spend less. One, you could not have a truck payment. Like I said, our truck payment is $768 a month. You could also travel less. Fuel being over $1,000 a month, well, we could have greatly reduced that if we just sat in one spot. If we did a little bit better meal planning or cooked at home more, we could have saved on our food expenses. If you can manage to find an RV that breaks less than ours, you won't have to spend as much on repairs. I think we'll get one of those next. Overall, our campground costs were pretty low in my opinion, but we could have spent less if we had boondocked more or stayed in more free campgrounds. I'm just looking outside right now at the sunset, and I gotta show you before we wrap up this video. Check it out. It's beautiful, isn't it? So in 2023, we have some areas that we're gonna be working on and trying to spend a little bit less. And the way that I'm going to track everything is actually with a budget worksheet that I made myself because I couldn't find a template that did it exactly the way I wanted to, so I just made my own. And I did make it available for free. You can grab it if you want with a link in the description. It even includes a sheet to be able to track your campground costs, and I mean, I think it's pretty cool, but I'm also kind of a nerd about Google Sheets. So if you liked hearing about the cost of full-time RV living, definitely hit the subscribe button because we share a lot about that. We're going to be sharing more on YouTube and already share it over on Instagram, so find us there and we'll see you next time.